I've had a few videos showing my servo controller. I thought I'd take the opportunity to give you a closer look at what's involved. Firstly, there's the main board. It's a prototype board, little wire connectors jumping everything together. Eventually I'd like to have a PCB, but once I've got the details sorted out. The main processor in this is a 80 mega family chip. There's two caps there and a crystal. Not much needed to run this thing. The most complicated part is probably the MAX 232 for a serial connection. You can see I've got a USB adapter, a USB to serial, which I can plug in and then talk to it. Output from the system, the Pololu board wants a PWM and high and low for each side of the bridge. I use an inverter buffer here to turn the single direction into a high-low for each side that runs down to the Pololu board, which does the main driver amplification, runs the motors turn, the encoder brings the signal back, the encoder signal comes in here, it's just a couple of pins, dropped back in and back into the main CPU, which then does the processing. I've also got some support bits and pieces. There's a voltmeter and an ammeter there with a shunt that's needed to measure the current, just to give me an idea what's going on. That's about it for the guts of the main controller. There's not a lot to it. Smarts is all in the software. There's also a few peripheral pieces around. Got a CNC 4PC parallel breakout board that just gets the signals from the computer. Nice little buffers on it, make sure it's nice and clean. Bring it down to the board. Also got a 1000 watt 48 volt switch mode power supply I've picked up. It's been modified to produce either a 36 volt or 12 volt, which I use for the motors. Okay, let's give the machine a run. This is the Roadrunner test from Mach 3. I've run this before. It's not terrifically interesting, but it gives you a chance to see the machine just spinning a couple of axes. There's still tuning needed for the PID in this. This is untuned. It's a couple of random values, good enough that the wheels spin. They don't overshoot too much. They don't oscillate. If you look closely at the driver board, you can see the little red and green LEDs. See them there getting brighter or not. Because it works so well, I decided a bit of a torture test was in order. I've grabbed my handy shifter, and if you watch on the right hand side, the ammeter, 0 amps, a bit more, 5 amps, 12, 13, 16 amps. Yeah, okay, that's enough.